All right. Can you buy mortgage properties as an investments? Is there just one opinion or more in the Hanafi school? Um, okay, so the answer is no, right? And there are scholars who have permitted buying just your first property to live in because they consider it a necessity. Um, just the first property that you live in with a interest based mortgage, and others have said no, and this is a stronger position. If you look at the only person that could get a mortgage is someone who has no alternatives, like he literally cannot afford to rent a property. It's just that the rent is just too much, and like he can't afford it, and the only way around it is for him to go and buy a house elsewhere, and it would work out cheaper. But even then, it's a system of dhulm, you know, it's a system of dhulm. A lot of the times, you know how it works. Some types of mortgages, they're not all like this, but some types of mortgages, what they do is, let's say you borrow, say, 200,000, right? And they'll put a certain percentage on it. Let's say overall you're going to pay back 300,000, and then you're going to be paying your installments with this type of mortgage, and let's say halfway through or whatever, you couldn't pay it back, and they repossess the house and they auction it off or whatever. What about the money you've put in? You've lost it, because what they'll say is you weren't paying back the loan with those payments, you were actually paying back the interest. So you don't get anything, right? So there's many forms of dhulm. If you look at the Hanafi school, Imam Abu Hanifa um, didn't allow people to go into uh, the lands of non-Muslims. It's a different scenario here. We live here with a social contract and whatever, but they're just exposing themselves in the lands of non-Muslims. For frequently, like a businessman going, and he said his adala, his uprightness, is lost by doing this. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is some of the ulama actually said uh, uh, that Abu Hanifa allowed interest in non-Muslim lands, and firstly, the context is different. Secondly, Abu Hanifa allowed taking interest, and it's not considered interest in that sense. There's a particular type of people who are at war with the Muslims, and if they willingly gave you money, if they willingly gave you money without you resorting to any sort of deception, you can take it, no problem whatsoever. So that's very different to someone giving interest. It's a problematic situation. Is it difficult? Yes, out there. And as I said, for someone who has no alternative, fair enough. But for someone who does have an alternative, to financing a property, then you know, this is for someone who has a necessity, for a house to live in. As for investments, no, find something else to invest in. Find something else, and you'll have more barakah. You don't want to be at war with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you don't want the problems coming into your life from other avenues. It's better to have afia. Ask yourself, just ask yourself a question. Would you rather have £1 million, or um, £1 million and be diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, or would you rather have neither, and not the money and not the cancer, just how you are, assuming you don't have it now? And most people would choose afia, dar'ul mafasid muqaddamun ala jalb al masalih, as the fuqaha say. Repelling harm and repelling causes of corruption to a person's life or society are more of a priority than bringing in benefit. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله